a lot of vigor because what I'm about to tell you, I'm very sure there are very many ladies here and gentlemen who want to feel who want to get the grace of holy matrimony. Aren't we many here? So for me, I'm just on a journey, but at least she has already started on me. So it was on 10th of October 2019 when I went to Kibeho. I had already joined the OLSG team, and we were praying. We were going for other retreats in Masaka and all. But I was like, what should I do? I had just left school. I didn't have like enough money.
Maybe your name is first, sister. I know you are so excited to talk about what our Lord has done for you, but let's just have your name first.
My name is Linda Stella. I'm Tora, I'm a child of Mother Mary. So, on that, it was before I went for this pilgrimage. I met my a spiritual friend who became a spiritual mother through her. So I used to share with her my problems. I just got a job like in June 2019. Then it was a space time of like 3 months, and my boss started harassing me. He wanted sex. So I'm like, I cannot trade my body for this job. I'm like, to hell with it. I've just joined this work, let me leave. Because I was very sure I'm very, 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 very experienced with what I had learned. So I'm like, I can go out there and get another job. So I told her my issues. Then she had just left for Canada.
Who had left for Canada?
Maria Makula Kasige.
As in the person you met and became your spiritual mother?
Yes, okay. That is my spiritual mother. So she later told me, Linda, I want you to go for this pilgrimage. I told her, Mama, I don't have money. I don't have money. You know what has been going on. I cannot pay that 250,000. And she's like, okay, I'm going to speak to Brother Morris. Then she later told me, just call him and tell him you're the person who I've sent. Then I just texted because I was really down. I didn't have that courage. I just waited. So on that day, we set off. We reached the border. Of course, I was very excited, taking pictures. I still have all those memories in that phone. Then when we got there, of course, my main intention, as we were crossing, they kept on asking us, what do you want Mother Mary to do for you? What do you want Mother Mary to do for you? But for me, what was in my mind, I want holy matrimony. Like that, everyone was like, how can this young girl crave for something like that? How can you yearn for something like that? That time I was just 22 years. I had left campus. But for me, that was my desire. So we went to Kibeho, we prayed, and I'm like, I really hope that this is going to work for me. Then we went to the Divine Mercy Kikorongo. That place where there is the Divine Mercy statue.
Nyarushishi.
Yes. that is where we went. And that is where I got like my greatest experience. When we were praying, Brother Morris asked us to open our mouth and breathe in the blood of Jesus. So I opened my mouth. People, I started throwing up. I threw up. Then I started choking, like something was blocking me. I started crying out for help. Then immediately, I felt like ice cold water, like pouring on me, like over from like a shower. It was very cold, so I started running. But when my eyes are closed, like I didn't know where I was going. Then eventually, Brother Morris and Brother Odomir held me, and they made me sit down. I'm like, okay, what is this? But then I knew that something was going to happen. So we went back to Kibeho that evening. We prayed. I went to the spring. I told Mother, I am tired of fornicating, because at that time I had very many boyfriends, people. I had like 5 people, 5 men. Of course, it's just because I needed money, I needed I needed money, I needed pleasure. You know how when you're from campus, the way you be disorganized. And I'm like, mother, just help me. I need to stop fornicating. So I had talked about it with my spiritual mother. She told me, when you get there, get that water from the spring, go aside and wash. Tell her to seal it. So I left that place. I'm like, please, mother, help me. I need to stop fornicating. Because it wasn't too much. I'm like, I'm going to get from here over STDs, over AIDS, over what? I'm like, just help me. Get me only one spouse who is going to love me the way I want, and I'm not going to ask for anything. So when we were there in the night, that time I slept in the bus. Brother Morris told me, you come and sleep in the room. I'm like, no. Why am I going to go to the bed? Let me punish myself. I'm going to sleep in the bus. So I slept in the bus, and I don't know if I can call it a dream or a vision, but I had 21. That was the number that I saw. So I woke up and I asked what my colleague who was besides me. I asked her, Tina, this 21, does it mean 21 days? Or what do you think it may mean? Or maybe like I'm going to get something on 21st. She just told me, Linda, me, I don't know. Just pray. I'm like, okay. I continued praying. 2020 came. I prayed, you people. I prayed. Of course, even that time, I was praying for a better job. I got a job in a company called White Knight. They are paying us on commission. You know those things of surveying and valuation. It's after you've gone to the field and they give
You are a
50K.
surveyor?
Yes. They give you 50K per day. You've worked, you've toiled in the sun and all, but at the end of the day, the biggest portion goes to your boss. I'm like, Anange, what is this? Let me get a good job. Lockdown comes in. We go to the village. My dad was like, no, all of you to Fort Poto. We moved. But even there, I used to keep on praying. I used to pray, people. End of lockdown comes. They had not yet really isn't it, but we moved back. I went back in my house. That time I was staying in Chira. So that time it was towards my boyfriend's birthday. Now I planned. I didn't really have money because I'm from lockdown, but you know, I'm this person who is really extra. When I fall in love, I really give it my all. Like, I make sure this person is very happy. Like, he's very proud of me. I don't know. So I'm like, what am I going to do? I don't have money. I'm like, no, it has to come. So my dad he had given me upkeep of 700,000. I'm like, I'm only going to pay rent. The rest, it will sort out itself. I bought gifts. I bought shoes, I bought cake, I bought flowers. What? I sent to his workplace. He came looking for me. Linda, I cannot believe. I'm like, thank God. But even before I sent those gifts, you guys, I prayed for these gifts. I'm like, please God, let him feel very contented. You know, these men, before they really commit to you, they will have their other girls they get pleasures from. They don't see you. But me, I'm like, God, this should be the beginning. And you people, it was the beginning. After that was on 13th of September last year. On 14th, he told me, Linda, I'm tired of you staying far away from me. He was staying in Chanja and I'm staying in Kira. So I was like, but why don't you move in? I'm like, I'm like, I'm going to get pregnant. What am I going to do? Because you people, you know, when you're staying with a man, there are some things that are unavoidable. I'm like, what am I going to do? But then I'm like, let me go. I've been here suffering with rain. I've been here praying. I need this man to commit to me. What am I stopping? Let me go. If I'm to get pregnant, Pastor is here. So I get there, but I still hesitated to take my things. So I just carried a bag of clothes and left. So we started staying together. That night we were together. The next day I realized this man didn't have gas, he didn't have plates, he didn't have, and me, I'm someone who loves to cook. And I'm like, but how am I going to organize this place? I'm like, no. I got a border. I went back to my place. I got gas. I got plates. I got plates. I go back. I cook. He finds the meal ready. He's like, he's a mnyankole. He says, can we take a jet? I'm like, I like these things. So he started getting impressed. I'm like, that night, I woke up like at around 3. I thought, let me go and think. But my main intention was to come to the living room and pray. I told God, I see you're already making a way. Please, just make things very fast. He needs to decide. I cannot keep like this because I'm hiding. My parents didn't know I'm staying with him, and it would really be messy. So I kept on praying. Then around in December there, I told him, you know what, me, I cannot stay away for Christmas. I need to go back home. He told me, but where are you going? Let us stay together. I'm like, So my dad told me, don't come home. Don't come home. You stay there. You might come and infect us with COVID. That time the wave was still on. I'm like, maybe God is answering this man. So we spent Christmas together. I really didn't feel bad because I wasn't home. He took me places. We had a holiday for a full week, actually from 24th up to 5th of January. We were just moving around, hotels, what? Yeah? You know, that kind of master. And me, I like those things. Yes, you people, I like those things because our parents used to do for us those things. Take us to Mwea for a trip. Take us to places for Christmas period. So in February, I'm like, but Valentine is going to pass without me doing something. That time, my dad had given me a job. He has a company for engineers. So it's called Alliance Engineering. He partners with an uncle of mine. By the way, sorry, I'm really sorry. I'd skip that part. On 8th of December.
8th of December is this date? You know it? Which one? Immaculate Conception.
Yes, on 8th of December. I remember they had posted on the group, everything that you ask from mother, she will listen from 12. So me, I started my prayers from 11. I recited my rosary. I got the 7 sorrows rosary. I got the Saint Michael. I got the Divine Mercy. I'm like, now at 12, I just sat there and started praying personal prayers. You people, I was in that house. I don't know, it was a manifestation really. Because after I had prayed, I got up from my knees. I started moving around the house. While I'm praying, immediately I started clapping. I clapped. I even felt like my hands were getting so hot, but I could not stop clapping. I'm like, whatever Mother Mary you're doing, that's it. After it was on 13th of December, my dad had just put me in to help them do their VAT returns and all those accounting things. He gave me a salary. Just like that. He gave me 800,000. He's like, you should start from there. I'm like, okay. On that salary, he added 400,000 that he's supposed to give me per month for just that go pick pick checks from this company. If you're to purchase things, use that money. Like, my salary was intact, but I had this allowance for myself. But still, I would find myself still using this money, this allowance money, because the month would end and I've used like half of it. So still, now I just counted, this is 1 million to myself really. So January came, we were there doing well. You people, me, I have never quarreled with my boyfriend ever since I moved into that house. Like, even when like a small thing tries to heat up, I just keep quiet. I'm like, Mother Mary, I am not going to start quarreling with this man. Just help me sort him out. By the time he comes back in the evening, he's kawa. So February comes, I do my extra things. I couldn't afford these things of taking him to a hotel for dinner and all. I bought the food. We had dinner. I decorated the bedroom. You people, it was like those things in a movie. Put balloons, put roses everywhere, put candles. But you know, let me tell you, if you want a serious relationship, you have to show the person that you're really in for it, and nothing is going to work to make you run away from it. Me, I prepared my things. He came back. He's like, Linda, when did you do this? Did you bring a decorator in this house? I'm like, no, I did everything myself. I showed him the petals, I showed him the candles, I showed him everything. It's like, you're very creative. He got in the room, he looked, he took pictures. So, I was just watching him. He knelt down, he proposed to me. You people, I couldn't believe. He didn't have a ring. He didn't have a ring to propose to me. But he told me, Linda, I don't have a ring, but I just feel like you're the most right person I need in my life. And just marry me. I don't have a ring to give you, but what I know, commitment is from the heart. So I'm like, it's okay. Don't give me your ring. Me, I love you the way you are. I told him, come, we go and eat food. I warmed the food, we ate. The night was kawa. So March, April, May. So lockdown came. This recent one. He's like, I told him, but you know, as we Batoro, with the way we are very loving. So I had given him a pet name. I told him, but you see, Arali, why can't you come home? Let's go and at least just see my parents. This is lockdown. We can just do something simple and it's fine. Just come with like 3 people, your dad maybe and your 2 brothers, and you go and see my parents. It's like, Linda. I'm like, then he told me, but when were you thinking this thing should be? I'm like, me, I want it in this lockdown. I want it in this lockdown where we're not going to have a lot of kajanja. It's like, well, that's a very good plan. So he asked me, do you have anyone who we can tell? I'm like, yeah, I have an uncle in Entebbe. I called my uncle. He told me, no, just tell me on phone. So I tell him my issue. Like, that is very good. So he tells me, I need you to go and let's go to your dad and we tell him. I was very scared, you people. My dad is so principled. He has 6 girls. In the 6 girls, I'm the last. And none of my sisters is married. I'm like, how am I even going to tell this to my dad? So I'm like, Mother Mary, you know my things. You know how I've always wanted to get married. Just make it very easy. Let things not be complicated. So on 28th of August, I go and tell my dad. It's like, that's a very good thing. Now he starts asking so many questions. Where does the man come from? What is his age? How long has he worked? Like, he asked me like 30 questions in a row. And thank God I had answers to everything. have the function on 14th of August. He told me that's very soon. You know, when you're having visitors, you need to prepare. You just don't let people come in your home and if they find you disorganized. I need to give them a month. I'm like, it's okay. I came back here. I continued with my prayers. I'm like, Mother Mary, this is going to be the beginning of me. Just make my function very colorful. 28th came. No, not before 28th. Around 20th there. You people, my own sisters, they turned their backs against me. Apart from one person. I'm like, I've been so good to these people. Why do they have to treat me like this? On such a time when I need them most, they refuse to come. It is only two sisters of mine who came. But I was very okay with it because me, the most important thing was seeing my man there. Speaking to my father, talk about the dowry, and that's it. 28th came. The man came. Hey! You people, that mother. The man came. He reached, you know, in the Toro culture, you don't go to the woman's home after 12. So you have to reach like at 11 or 10:30 around that time. The father had delayed to come from Tungamu with the uncle, with the brother, and the other sister. There are only 3 people. The friend, him, and the person who was like the moderator because they couldn't speak with Toro. I just told them, you know what, leave the hotel, come, be there so that they see you that you've reached on time, but the other people are just delaying you. So eventually, they came. They sat in. You know how these cultures are similar but a bit different. But I kept on hearing in the sitting room what was